And I'd like to give a great sign out, and I really hope that you consider this audition tape for Big Brother Canada, Survivor Edition. What would you say is the most misunderstood thing about cancer and youth?
I think that it's a little romanticized because, like, when I can't remember the year the movie came out, but A Walk to Remember, she has leukemia, and now the movie The Fault in Our Stars. Cancer is not like that. There is no, Shane West did not come to my window and make me a telescope. I wish he did, but he did not show up on my doorstep with a telescope. Yeah, I'm still waiting. So there's that misconception that we can beat it because we're young, or that we're gonna die because we're young.
There's this double-edged sword of the youth and cancer perspective where it doesn't allow for a spectrum.
Nope.
There's no permission to have, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 3. Either I'm a 0 or I'm a 10. Like, I'm champion advocate and I'm just kicking ass and taking names, or, I'm feeling completely dire.
I honestly am trying to think of what my understanding or what my friends, my social circle's understanding was of cancer in youth, and I don't think there was one. I mean, I kind of never expected that cancer would ever happen to a 25-year-old, especially a 25-year-old who had no history of cancer, or I don't know, had never smoked or done anything, that is obviously cancer causing.
So in that, it's just not supposed to happen
Yeah,
when you're in that
probably my
understanding. That in itself is a very honest answer.
Okay.
No, 100%.
I agree with Stephanie there. When you're in your young adult years, that you don't get cancer, or that it can happen to anyone. I've played sports all my life. I've maintained a fairly healthy lifestyle for what I thought, and I wound up with it. You know what I mean? So it truly can happen to anyone, and I think that's highly misunderstood.
I think one of the big misunderstandings with cancer in youth is that that it's going to be easier for us to cope with what we're going through, right? That we have this youthful energy to help us push through it. So you're in your 20s, you're good, you have nothing to worry about, right? And the big misconception there, of course, and what we are learning and what we've learned is that it's not necessarily easier, it just presents a whole different set of challenges.
The most misunderstood thing is that we have our whole life ahead of us, but each of those, we haven't gone through so many of those stages yet. So each of those stages carries the fact that we've gone through cancer, and it affects our education, our career, relationships. So we do have our whole life ahead of us. That's great, with that we survive. But it's, it brings a whole, it flips all those stages.
And now I'm thinking like an 85-year-old, but I'm still at this age because I've been confronted with the idea that I might not exist because of this. What happens? You get through it, and then what now? Right. So that's sort of what I'm getting as a sense of feedback. Thomas, what do you feel is the most misunderstood thing?
I think the most misunderstood thing is the key components of those words is cancer and youth. I think a lot of the times are, when someone finds out that someone has been diagnosed with cancer and they are young, people are like, oh my gosh, wow. I mean, it happens a lot in our type of cancer. With testicular cancer, a lot of people go, oh, you were 26, oh, you were 19 when you were diagnosed. And a lot of people there's such a misconception of that, and nowadays, everyone looks at cancer as an old person's disease. It comes back to even the educational aspect of what is out there, what is actually out there. We have these great organizations and people are doing things, but it's all about this next tier level raising awareness aspect where we're going, what actually people know?
Well, it's definitely a subtext to when it's tackling the misconceptions of cancer in youth. Absolutely, 100%.